Hey guys, and welcome back to EQ Planes, and today we'll be flying the Westjet 737-700 from Calgary to Vancouver. The last time I tried out this product on Westjet was almost 5 years ago on their 737 MAX, and this is my first time flying one of their 737NG aircraft in almost 8 years, despite it being one of the most popular aircraft within Canada. So I'm certainly looking forward to giving this product a proper review. So without further ado, starting the review out, we have the check-in process. Now the check-in process was easy enough and the self-served kiosks worked just as they were supposed to. Westjet in recent years has renovated their check-in area at Calgary Airport and it looks very modern and fresh. With Calgary effectively being Westjet's super hub, their presence is definitely felt around the airport. Today we would be using the gates in the designated domestic section of Calgary's airport. The main terminal was built back in the 1970s, however it's been expanded and renovated quite a few times over the years. I've always thought that it's provided decent views of the aircraft, along with a plethora of options for eating and shopping, especially in my opinion when compared to their brand new international terminal. I also think there certainly is a nostalgic element to the terminal for me as well, as given that it's the terminal that I've probably flown through the most times in my lifetime, there's plenty of good memories associated with it. But with that being said, let's head over to the gate for our short flight to Vancouver today. Parked over here at gate B34, we have the aircraft that'll be taking us to Vancouver. This Westjet 737-700 is registered Charlie Golf Whiskey Juliet Foxtrot. This aircraft is 19 years old, having taken its first flight back in October of 2004, where it was then delivered to Westjet soon after in November of 2004, where it's flown with ever since. This aircraft is painted in the 2015 iteration of Westjet's old livery with the maple leaf instead of the box next to the Westjet lettering. At the end of 2023, Westjet finally started painting some 737-700 aircraft into their newest livery, which looks very good on the airplane. So hope to see Westjet continue that into this year. But now let's step on board this aircraft and see what it has to offer. Today, I'd be traveling with my family, giving us access to pre-boarding, as at the time my younger sister needed the use of crutches. Westjet 737-700 seat a total of 130 people, with 12 people in a premium 2x2 configuration in the front, with the rest of the 118 being in the 737 standard 3x3 configuration, all the way towards the back of the aircraft. This interior is the standard interior across Westjet's 737 fleet, with some 737 MAXs featuring a reupholstered version of this. Today, I'd be seated near the back of the aircraft in seat 20A. When it comes to my first impressions of the aircraft, it certainly is one of your older 737NGs without the Boeing Sky interior. However, that's not to say there's really anything wrong with it, certainly an interior I'm very familiar with. However, it does lack ambiance in comparison with the Boeing Sky interior, along with overhead bin space. It would take us longer to start up today as the APU was inoperative on this aircraft, meaning that we would need to ground start the engines. However, the overall operation of the flight did continue to run smoothly. However, enjoyed this morning taxi and takeoff out of Calgary, and stick around for a more in-depth review of the seat when we get in the air. Well, now that we're in the air, let's take a closer look at WestJet's onboard offering. First, let's talk about the legroom on Westjet 737-700. It's certainly passable, nothing that would blow your socks off, but better than what you would find on some low-cost carriers, and certainly better than what you would have had on Swoop, which used these exact same kind of seats, albeit in a tighter configuration, which I have got the chance to try out in the past. The tray table sat a good height above the knees and was of a good size. The recline was about typical for what you would expect on really any airline these days. When it comes to the seat padding, it certainly was comfortable enough, and in my opinion is comparable to Porter's hard product in terms of comfort. However, I wouldn't quite say it's as comfortable as a seat you would have with a full-service carrier like Air Canada, but certainly isn't as bad as something that would be offered by a ULCC like Lynx, which makes sense for WestJet considering they straddle between the two spaces. Looking in the back seat pocket, you have the safety card for WestJet's 737-700s and recently retired 737-600s, along with a buy on board menu where you can get yourself snacks and whatnot. In terms of food service on board, though, WestJet is in line with other full-service carriers in Canada, only offering a small snack and drink service on these shorter domestic flights. However, like I said, with them straddling that space between full service and ULCC, they do lack some of the perks that come with other full-service carriers, like free Wi-Fi with Porter, or a built-in in-flight entertainment system with most of Air Canada's aircraft. However, to be fair, WestJet does offer Wi-Fi for purchase and has free in-flight entertainment through their app. And when it comes to the loo review, you have your standard 737NG lavatory, which isn't anything to ride home about, but certainly isn't as cramped as the lavatories on some other aircraft, and I did find that WestJet kept it exceptionally clean during the flight. But now, with our short hour-long flight over the Rocky Mountains almost complete, enjoy this landing into Vancouver and stick around for my final thoughts on the experience. Well, after that landing into Vancouver, now it's for my final thoughts on the experience. WestJet certainly is a great Canadian airline, and if they're an option for your next journey into or within Canada, I would definitely recommend them. WestJet started their life out in the 90s as a low-cost carrier, eventually attempting to transfer into a more full-service orientated carrier like Air Canada. However, that full-on transfer to a full-service carrier never truly came completely into fruition, and now they straddle the space between the full-service carriers and the ULCC carriers in Canada. However, despite not having quite as many amenities as some of those aforementioned full-service carriers, you do often get it at a better price point. And on the flip side, compared to the ULCCs, the onboard product is much better. However, it does often come at a bit of a higher price point. But overall, they offer a generally good value proposition along with an expansive route network and loyalty program as well. Another thing worth mentioning is that their 787-9s are a completely different beast compared to their 737 and Q400 fleets, with that product being far more akin to one of a full-service airline. and something that I certainly think is worth checking out. Anyways, that'll be it for this trip report. I'd like to thank you guys for watching and hope to see you guys back next time.